Welcome to another steaming hot episode of the Info Hazard Podcast Show. I'm your host, David, here with Phil and and Dan. And I have no microphone. Boy, another week of exciting news, guys, huh?
Was definitely a week.
I was, I was thinking back on some of my childhood memories. My dad and I used to, throw the frisbee, watch the football game. Another father-son duo went out for some activities in Bondi Beach last weekend and shot up a Hanukkah party.
That wasn't the father-son murder spree that I thought you were going to talk about, but...
Is there more than one father-son murder spree?
Dude, the Rob Reiner was apparently murdered by his son.
Oh,
I guess. Exactly.
Man.
Yeah. A spree of two, but...
Murder is definitely the father-son activity of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hanukkah event shooting, that's... What kind of positive things can we say about that? Someone grabbed the gun and disarmed one of them. That was a good thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You guys saw the video of it?
Actually,
apparently he got shot while doing that?
Yeah. The report I saw said he was riddled with bullets. Like, he got shot a lot.
I saw something saying he got shot 2 times in the arm, but that was early on, so might not have had all the info yet.
Pretty riddling.
Or, maybe I just read some catastrophic thing. Ahmed al-Ahmed. Is that right? Or
a Syrian immigrant?
Yeah, to Australia.
Yep, yeah.
He owns a fruit shop, apparently.
What's the most badass fruit?
Probably a banana, right?
Harvey Milk. I was a thinker.
At first I'm like, milk's not fruit. No. Okay, how many times was he shot, Phil? All our viewers are dying to know.
Screw the viewers, dude. I'm dying to know.
Right, yeah. If you know how many times Ahmed al-Ahmed was shot, please leave a comment.
I refuse to I refuse to let AI do my Googling for me.
You just got to use it like Wikipedia, dude, and click on the sources that it cites.
Well, when it gives sources, 5 times.
4 to 5 times.
Yeah, I assumed it's like one of those situations where it's like a kind of like a messy wound, so it's kind of hard to tell how many times he was shot.
Or like multiple entries kind of thing.
4 to 5 times, according to abc.net. Which is Australian Broadcasting Company.
I didn't quite get how it is he got shot, because it seemed to me like he came up behind the guy. But
I don't know. He was wrestling with him for a bit. I don't know.
And he tackled a guy with was it like a rifle of some kind?
It's so a large
somehow
gun.
Got the I don't know. That somehow maneuvered to point blank.
Right, but yes, in our second father-son murder story of the episode, Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were murdered, most likely by their son Nick.
The son Nick is the presumptive murderer because I think just general suspicion around a very public argument he had with his father at a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's house. It was like a very public confrontation. According to people who were there, it had something to do with Nick Reiner's current struggles and history of heroin addiction. And because, this is famous director Rob Reiner's son, or there's actually a movie about this history of heroin addiction and homelessness called Being Charlie that Rob directed and was written by Nick Reiner, the son.
I heard another public figure had a different theory on this death.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some say this was like a murder that was born out of like a long history of struggle and tension between father and son. But Trump decided to helpfully chime in and suggest that Rob died of Trump derangement syndrome.
His massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease.
Dude, this guy. Oh. What a bottom feeder.
Yeah. The full quote is something to behold, because it's another just example of like the pure stream of consciousness thing that he does, where it's like, I feel like some part of him knows that this is not the time to be talking about himself, but he just can't help it. He says, and I'll do my Trump voice. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director. See, he's drifting. He started on target, and he's drifting. He has passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others, drifting, through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, he goes on like that. And then he tries to kind of recover at the end. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Just didn't quite stick the landing. Yeah.
Our president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conservatives, they talk like this, when someone they don't like dies, but get all mad when Charlie goes down. They get all mad when you make fun of that. I don't know. Doesn't seem right.
Not that people were that widely making fun of Charlie Kirk being shot, right? I don't know, Charlie Kirk got killed. I'm mostly thinking, and I assume you guys are most likely thinking, oh, fuck, let's not spiral into violence.
Yep.
Let's keep things peaceful as long as we can. But yeah, I don't know, this guy, he has a gift.
God, this is just, what a week, man. I don't even know what this is about. There was a Brown University shooting that happened last week. Can someone tell me about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was front page stuff until the other shooting, which was front page stuff until the other murder. So yeah, it was definitely a week of crazy shootings. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what the headline sounds like. There was shooting at Brown University. A couple people were killed. And last I checked, the shooter is at large. Someone was detained for a while, I think 2 days, but they didn't actually have any compelling evidence that that was the guy, and so they let that person go. And yeah, so just another shooting.
So,
but
suspect still at large, no motive or body
Probably kind of
count
hard to
or-
tell without catching the perpetrator.
I mean, presumably Trump derangement syndrome led him to do it.
Yeah.
It's basically the cause for everything that happens.
Yeah.
I guess these were all slightly off of the typical mass shooting, right? So one of them is in Australia, which is insanely unusual. And then the Brown
Mhm.
University one, the perpetrator escaped, which is also pretty unusual. Usually they get killed or kill themselves at the scene, right?
That does seem to be how it goes. I don't have the hard numbers on it. There was a notable story from this week about Republicans standing up to Trump in a way that is worth mentioning, which is in Indiana State Senate, which is something like 80% Republicans, voted down a mid-cycle redistricting intended to gerrymander, squeeze the last couple of seats out of the state. And so, yeah, this is Mike Pence's home state.
Good for them, dude. Way to have integrity.
Seriously, it's much appreciated.
Good sportsmanship, maybe. If you already have 80% control of the state, just leave some districts in there just for spice and levity.
Right. I mean, it's almost like they care at least one shred about doing their jobs instead of just right. Even if you see it fairly cynically, okay, they're politicians, they're just trying to grab more power or protect their own asses. Maybe we're encountering the limits of this strategy for Republicans. The strategy of just be a complete pushover and just do everything Trump says. Yes, please, sir. You're the greatest, sir. At some point that doesn't actually win you more power. It just risks whatever power you already have. Anyway, that's why so it's good to see the man's popularity falling as measured in polling, and good to see examples of Republicans standing up, and maybe we're not that far from the end of this insanity.
Before the Trump experiment has really gripped the nation, that's kind of what I thought about cults of personality. You gotta people gotta like you for there to be a cult of personality, but everyone kind of hates him. So I guess it's kind of falling apart. That must be the lesson.
I've thought that so many times before, and he keeps on trucking. Teflon Don.
Yeah, I don't think it's too soon to print the eulogy, but But if it were time, that eulogy would be profanity laced. Okay, so
That's
one
how you
other
would want it, surely.
right. I think he'd want it scribbled on a cartoon crotch. Let's see.
He'd want it printed on a novelty condom.
I had one other story from this week. Jimmy Lai, you may have heard of. He was the owner of the Apple Daily in Hong Kong, a sort of media mogul over there who was also very pro-democracy and anti-regime. He's been in jail for about 5 years, but this week he was convicted of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces. You know, he had met with American politicians. He's a media mogul. Hey, this shouldn't be
Billionaire.
punishable with life in prison, but that's what he's facing. Already a 78-year-old who's been in solitary for a lot of the last 5 years.
I say no great loss. Like the super Trump supporting billionaire gets arrested for colluding with foreign forces because he was colluding with foreign forces. Sounds about right to me. He was actively in talks to enlist U.S. support against the Chinese government. Regardless of what you think about the Chinese government, he very much was doing what they were saying.
So, right, go ahead.
Yeah. And also, like, regardless of the reason, I'm kind of happy to see a billionaire go to jail in any context. So, I don't know.
Talking with foreign governments is not reasonably a crime. I mean, sorry, so was he...
Colluding with foreign governments, like actively seeking the downfall of the Chinese government with the foreign power that could most reasonably attack.
Right, so seeking it how? So was he asking for an invasion, asking for guns?
No, but he was advocating for the Trump regime. He thought that the only politicians that were tough enough on China were Trump and cohort. So he was a political donor to Trump. In his re-election campaign, he published a 28-page report of lies about Hunter Biden and his various liaisons. He was a pro-Trump sort of propaganda engine.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting across national borders how the alliances and even ethics get kind of twisted some. I think, people find foreign allies that they wouldn't be that comfortable with. For example, like a lot of people sort of have overlooked how terrible Hamas is, in their disgust with Israel. Very reasonable to be disgusted with Israel, but it's pretty silly to be to see yourself as an ally of Hamas. Yeah, I mean, in terms of being happy to see a billionaire tossed in jail, that seems a little, anyway. I'm not with you on that in general. In China, they have people who are tools of the regime, and then when they're not, then they get thrown in jail, and it's happened a few times. To me, would you rather live in a country where the billionaires are fighting over things, or where there's one super billionaire who tosses any other billionaire who doesn't like him into jail?
No.
Yeah, well, we live in the former.
I wouldn't prefer that.
And China is the latter.
Or the Roman Empire, it sounds like.
We are the Roman Empire?
No.
Yes.
The way you describe China sounds like the Roman Empire back in the day. The Senate being all rich people and the emperor being the richest guy.
Right, yeah. Like, America is the Roman Republic, and they're the Roman Empire.
Got it.
Also, we live in the system you described as China, where there's one super billionaire who picks the winners out of the billionaires.
In jail. He's not tossing other billionaires
but
in jail. So that's the thing.
But
there are many billionaires in the U.S. who are very actively opposing Trump, and they're not going to jail.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not looking so good for his ability to just throw people in jail, though, if they're prominent, right? Letitia James and James Comey escaped, like we discussed.
Right.
True.
I think this is a really important distinction. I mean, I'm not sure I'd be doing this if I thought I was going to be thrown in jail for it. Right? I do this to prevent us from reaching that point. Speaking of U.S.-China relations, an immigrant from China, who, as far as I was aware was here legally with a very reasonable asylum claim, is being deported. Yes. So Heng Guan, who came to the U.S. As he released videos, he documented the slave camps the Uyghurs were being tossed into in China. He drove around the country to see for himself and recorded videos and fled and eventually ended up in the U.S. and released this video and now he's being deported, or he's they're trying to deport him to some country in Africa that's like a close ally of China.
He was trying to stop genocide. Can't just have that, dude.
Right.
So wait, so he's been deported he had an asylum claim, and because the Trump administration is just not doing asylum claims anymore, or that they're trying to crack down on the people they had previously approved for that, now they're trying to deport him? Like, that's
Yep.
what's happening?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just nobodies. It's people who are very accomplished in their fight for global freedom and human rights, and they're gonna send him to Uganda. Obviously, he has no ties to Uganda. Well, happy Hanukkah, everybody. It's been
Yeah,
another
happy Hanukkah.
it's a celebration of resilience. So hang in there, eat some fried potatoes.
Light
Also,
some things on fire. Hope
like
they
and
burn for a long
subscribe.
time.
Leave a comment.
Right, or leave 8 comments. Right, leave
Yeah.
Even
8
better.
crazy comments.
You'd make the Maccabees proud.